What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video on Lexalexus for the championship prediction finale. We've made it to week 46 with the playoffs in the final 5th and 6th place still to play for. I'm quite disappointed that we weren't going to have a relegation battle decided on the last day and promotion decided on the last day, but it is what it is. The top 6 battle, however, is very intense, and I cannot wait to tell you guys what I think is going to happen, and I'm going to reveal my final set of championship predictions for the time being. Obviously, I'm going to take quite a break after this season, and you may see me pop up here and there sometimes, but in terms of consistently making content for the championship, that is going to take a bit of a step back for now. But I hope you guys are going to celebrate and just make your predictions, because ultimately one thing that we love to do is predicting what will happen in the championship, whether it's right or wrong, as I've learned over the years. If you guys love what you see, please smash the like button. It really will help me right now. If you've not hit that subscribe button yet, now's not a better time to do so than today. It would be absolutely amazing if you can. And please also share the channel too. All these things really do help. I have already given you my Premier League predictions on the community tab. I don't know what time I'm going to release this video, so I may not or may not put them here. So my predictions for the Premier League are already out, but today, exclusively for this video, it is on the Championship. But without any further ado, let's start finally predicting what I think will happen for the conclusion of the Championship 2022-23 season. Let's start off with Birmingham going up against Sheffield United. Now, I don't think there's a lot to play for with either one of these teams going into this game. Sheffield United played all their games in hand. They actually recently played against Huddersfield, where they lost out by 1-0. They definitely were pushing for a goal in the first half, but the second half, they were blown away. Huddersfield were determined. They broke down the doors, got the goal, and actually, for the way that they built up in that second half, Huddersfield earned those 3 points. And ultimately, that result meant that Sheffield United weren't going to get within 94 points as a maximum. But it also confirmed Huddersfield staying up and Reading getting relegated. So with this game here, Birmingham nothing to play for. Sheffield United don't have anything to play for either. So therefore, I think this game is actually going to be a bit of a damp squid. And I'm going to say a 0-0 draw in this game. I could be wrong. You know, it could be one of those ones that actually just explodes into life. But I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw here. I don't really see a lot happening for this one. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Burnley Cardiff. So, Burnley, obviously, they could be going for something in this game. They could get right up to 100 points if they pick up 3 points within this game. They can end it on 101, which would definitely qualify Burnley being one of the championship greats. Cardiff are currently 21st, but they do not have to fear relegation anymore since they're 5 points clear of 22nd place Reading. So potentially Burnley and both Cardiff may change their squad slightly, maybe give some players a chance that we may not see from them as well. Maybe even treat this game a little bit like a friendly in a strange way. But I'm feeling that Burnley will be going for those 100 points, I think. So I think we'll see Burnley turn up and Cardiff just happy to survive, I think. So as a prediction, I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory to Burnley. I actually think it is going to be quite one-sided, to be honest, despite Lamucci deserving a lot of credit for keeping Cardiff in the Championship. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Huddersfield Reading. Now, this game would have been absolutely massive in the final game week of the season had we not really had any of those points deductions handed across Reading's way. But unfortunately, Reading have been relegated for the first time in over 20 years. I mean, this is incredible that they're going down to League One, considering that they were in the Premier League, you know, less than a decade ago from this year. So there's been an ultimate drop and decline from Reading. And I do see Reading as a team, if they keep most of their players, being a really good League One outfit. But the realistic part of me is saying that a lot of these players are going to be moved on. Lucas João I see is one, Yaku Mate I see being one. So right now, Reading are really going to try and keep a core players and squad together to actually get out of League One next season. It's a real shame for them. Huddersfield, however, their play to Neil Warnock and Huddersfield, they really turned it around big time. When Neil Warnock came, they recently lost to bottom of the league Wigan and were really in danger for not staying up. But Warnock comes in. I think only lost twice since he's taken over from Huddersfield. That is super impressive. And it just goes to show that Neil Warnock can still do it. And he did it in a really, really big way here. I think Reading will almost kind of feel sorry for themselves going into this game. But there's a really weird nagging feeling when it comes to relegation teams in the final game week of the season. I feel like we're either going to get a team just completely dejected and devoid of confidence, or we'll see a team completely click and just really try and make a statement that they will be coming back to this league next season. So I think Reading might get something, but I'm a bit more confident with Huddersfield picking up a 2-1 victory. Let me know what you think of that prediction, however, in the comments down below. The next game to predict in the final game week is Luton versus Hull. Luton have confirmed to finish in 3rd place. They could put a second string team in this one to potentially focus for the playoffs. Hull, since actually the calendar year, have been doing really, really well actually. In the last 12, I believe they've only lost twice, which was against the top 4 teams. So Hull have definitely started to improve in this final stage of the season, which does serve them well for next season. Going into this game though and predictions, I don't see many goals. I think Luton might still squeeze a 1-0 victory, but I don't see this being a game that's going to explode into life and we'll see many goals in, to be honest. So even 0-0, 1-0, I'm going to back 1-0 to Luton Town. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Middlesbrough Coventry. Now, this game is huge when it comes to the top 6. So Middlesbrough are finishing 4th. There's no doubt about that. They will definitely finish 4th. Coventry, however, they are not guaranteed to finish 5th place. They could fall out of the top 6 if results don't go their way. They have got a small advantage of the teams that they are, being chased by, because they have got a 1-point advantage for most of those teams. But my fear with them, for Coventry, they're playing against a Middlesbrough team that have scored 8 goals in their last 2 home games. So Middlesbrough at home are looking really, really good. It's been their away for Middlesbrough that I've not really been backing. So I may back Middlesbrough for something here, and they'll be hoping that Sunderland, Millwall, or Blackburn, or West Brom do not overtake them. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Middlesbrough, which will be nerves in the stomach for Coventry fans going into the final game week, and they'll just have to hope that results elsewhere go their way. But I'm going 2-1 Middlesbrough. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Millwall versus Blackburn. Now this is the main game I'm talking about because this is really, really big. So Millwall are only 1 point behind Coventry, which was that 1-point advantage I was giving for Coventry. But Blackburn themselves are on 66 points. So a win for Blackburn means that they overtake Millwall. And Millwall are currently occupying that last top 6 place, which is massive. Must-win game for both of these teams. And if Millwall were to pick up a win and Coventry did not pick up a win in their game, then Millwall can overtake Coventry going into the final game as well. So right now, both of them have really, really got a big incentive to win. And something tells me I think we're going to get a tale of a couple of halves. I think Blackburn typically start quite well, but then kind of fade off slightly. And then with Millwall, it's really just down to the way how they start their games. Because I felt Mill's performances have been a little bit below par, but they actually really improved their performance against Blackpool when they really had something to play for. And maybe here we could see that. As a prediction, I'm going to be very boring, but I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. It's so close between these two teams, I don't think I can back them. But a draw for Blackburn means it is categorically impossible for them to finish in the top 6. Blackburn need to win to have a chance of getting into it, which just tells you the stakes of this final game. But I'm going to go for a draw. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is going to be Norwich versus Blackpool. So, both teams with nothing to play for. Norwich can't get top 6. Blackpool are already down and out for the count. And honestly, there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, for both teams next season. With Norwich already, we know Timu Puki is not going to be a Norwich player next season. But I think there's going to be a couple of other players that are going to move on as well. Blackpool are going to get some changes. I think a lot of their squad are already going to be linked going to Championship clubs, or maybe the odd chance of another Premier League club going for them as well. So I anticipate so much change for both these sides. So really with this game, it's really difficult to actually really put anything into it. Blackpool's form has been a bit inconsistent. Norwich have just been blatantly inconsistent, like, since David Wagner has come in, to be honest. As a prediction, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these teams just blows the other team out of the water, and it wouldn't surprise me to see like a 5-1 victory to Blackpool or something, with it being that relegation motivation, for instance, saying we will be back within 2 seasons forever. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Norwich, and I feel like a lot of my times I put too much faith in Norwich, but I think this time they might get the job done, following that Blackpool no longer have an incentive to pick up 3 points. I'm going to 3-1 Norwich. Never know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Preston Sunderland. So this is one of the other games that's really going to be big for the top 6 battle. Now, it would have been even more exciting if Preston were within touching distance of getting into it, but unfortunately recent results means that Preston cannot get into the top 6, but they can ruin Sunderland's chances. So Sunderland are on 66 points, same with Blackburn Rovers, but they are ahead of Blackburn currently because of their goal difference. So even if Blackburn beat Millwall, Sunderland can actually overtake Blackburn because of their goal difference already. I mean, obviously that could definitely swing with whatever result they get, but that's a big advantage already for Sunderland that they built this goal difference, and actually it can rival Coventry's as well. So if Coventry were to lose and Sunderland were to win, it'd be very likely that Sunderland will overtake Coventry. So that's going to be one of the teams that Coventry are going to be very nervous about, to see if Sunderland can pick up all 3 points here. And I think against a Preston team at Deepdale, where they've been very inconsistent throughout the whole season, and I think for next year for Preston, they're definitely going to want to try and get some stability and getting some permanent players that can really make a difference. As a prediction here, I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Sunderland, which will make things interesting. So, as it stands, just doing the maths in my head, Sunderland will be 5th in the Championship if all my predictions came true. Coventry will still be 6th place because Millwall, despite also being on 69 points, their goal difference is not going to overtake Coventry's unless Coventry lose heavily to Middlesbrough. So currently, within all my predictions so far, Sunderland are going to finish 5th and Coventry will finish 6th according to these scorelines. So I'm predicting 2-1 to Sunderland. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next team and game to predict is QPR Bristol City. A game which I don't really see too much going for. QPR will be pleased that they survived under Ainsworth, but whether Ainsworth is the long-term best option, I don't know. We could potentially see a lot of developments take place within this team over, the break that they've got. Bristol City may look at this season as a little bit of a disappointment for them. They ultimately didn't achieve anything. No progress, no improvement, and do the fans deserve better? Personally, I think, just a better sense of improvement would be reassuring for those fans. It just feels that they've kind of plateaued in this lower mid-table position, and I feel like Bristol City should be aiming to try and get a little bit higher from that. So there'll be a lot of pressure for next year, I think, for Bristol City. As a prediction, I think Bristol City will win this one by 2-0. It's ultimately which team turns up, and I'm backing Bristol City too, because both teams have been quite inconsistent with that, but now that QPR are now mathematically safe, that might, allow them just to kind of, not really go for the intensity as they've been bringing in their recent games. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Bristol City. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Swansea West Brom. So this is the last game that could have implications on the top 6. So West Brom also on 66 points. But they've got a bit of a disadvantage because their goal difference is really not strong, especially compared to Coventry's. So even if Coventry lose and West Brom win, it's quite likely that West Brom will not overtake Coventry. But what can make things very, very interesting for West Brom is if Coventry do lose, however, but then all the other teams are not able to catch up with Coventry, West Brom could have a chance to overtake Millwall, Blackburn and Sunderland to sneak into 6th place and take that final top 6 place. It's going to be a really, really interesting battle there. They're playing Swansea, and to be fair, similar with Preston, Swansea were in the conversation for the top 6. Unfortunately, it's just taken them too long to pick up their form, and it's just been a too late of a revival for them there. But with Swansea being one of the most informed teams in the Championship right now, I think that's going to be a really, really tough game for West Brom. And as a prediction, I hate to say it for Baggies fans, but I think it will be another season in the Championship, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Swansea. I think Swansea have been really showing some good intent in the last couple of games, and I think ruining West Brom's chances will be the cherry on top of the cake of how well they've been performing quite recently. So I'm going to go 2-1 Swansea. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Penultimate game for my predictions this year is Watford-Stoke. I don't see a lot being based around this game. Watford are going to be in one of their lowest Championship finishes in this decade, which is absolutely shocking for Watford to fall so far down for what everyone expected. And I remember when I did my video with Matt SB, when I was talking about potentially the biggest underachieving team, I said Watford, but I did not think Watford would be as low down as they have been. It's been a disaster class from this Watford team all season, and, you know, non-surprising, it's caused so much unrest between the fans and the board there. Stoke would be looking at the season as a bit of a disappointment as well, like with Bristol City kind of plateauing in this middle part of the table. And they'll be thinking that could they stick with Alex Neil? Could he maybe give some more optimism for Stoke fans next year? I'm a bit 50-50 whether he could. There's just like an underlying mentality issue there, and they just cannot string a good run of games together that will make them competitive. And even if they do, they suddenly go on a big streak where they are plagued with injuries and they just cannot pick up that momentum again, and they really need to try and resolve that as soon as they can. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I don't really see much taking place in this game, to be honest. I don't really have a lot to base it on. I think personally we could maybe see a nice send-off for João Pedro, so that might lift Watford a little bit. But then once again, Stoke have got some good players, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. The final game to predict is Wigan and Rotherham. This would have been massive going into the final game week had Reading had not already been relegated. I mean, considering because Reading would have been ahead of Rotherham, and Rotherham would have been right in the thick of the relegation picture with Cardiff, and Rotherham would have been on 49 points, and just really, really nervy to see if they were going to survive. I mean, this would have been an incredible game, you know, if Reading had not gone down, as I said. I'm a bit concerned with Wigan. You know, the news today from what I've heard is that Wigan up top have not paid some of their players and staff on time again. It has caused the players to have a day off training, so it's very likely that the players may not be at their best and may actually not be up for it with the whole confusion and concern they have with the structure and the running of this club. And I really do feel sorry for the players and the fans, especially. They've been really let down this year. Rotherham will be jumping around for joy. What an incredible win they had last weekend over Middlesbrough to confirm their survival, and they've earned it. Honestly, I was so pleased for them. They found a promising manager in Matt J, you know, from Exeter, and they gave him a go. Took him a little bit of time to get going, but I tell you, once he did and he knew how to get the best of his squad, tactically a really clever manager. And I'm really pleased for Rotherham that they managed to stay up. It's just going to be interesting to see whether they can maintain some consistency. The more seasons they stay in the Championship, the more likely they'll be able to grow in commercial growth and revenue, and that's really going to help this Rotherham team going forward. As a prediction for this game, knowing that Wigan are currently in turmoil at the moment and Rotherham potentially, you know, going to have a feel-good factor with surviving, I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to Rotherham. I think Wigan are really not really going to show up. I've got to be honest. I think they are going to really struggle. So I'll go 2-0 Rotherham. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So guys, that will wrap it up for my predictions for the 22-23 season. It's been such an enjoyable season to cover with you guys. Definitely the content has got a lot lower compared to my other seasons, but that's because of, you would know that I'm working full time now, and it's a lot more difficult for me to be involved, and there will be many changes next year. I'm going to tell you this now, but I'm more determined than ever to get my opinion out there. And honestly, I've built something amazing with you guys, and thank you guys for sticking with me up to this point. If you guys enjoyed this video today, smash the like button please. It'd be really, really amazing if you can. Please hit the subscribe button if you've not done so, that really helps. And please also share the channel too. All these things really do help too. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary for showing in this video, and as always, I'll see you guys very soon. Take care, everyone.